Okay, before we proceed, do you have any question? Reminder, your quiz and your assignment 1 due on the 28th. Okay, so your assignment due today pula, and also quiz 1 kan? So quiz 1 19/20, assignment 1 due tonight nih. Quiz number 1 untuk KK ada 8 orang lagi yang belum. Quiz pun masih ini. Okay, so the due date will be tonight, 10 p.m. Okay? So you have time lagi kah? So tonight you need to finish lah. Your assignment 2, I think due .30th. Okay, so make sure you submit assignment 1 and take quiz number 1 by tonight, 10 p.m. Okay? Okay. So this lecture notes number 5 called Retrieval Evaluation. So the session will be dealing on how do we evaluate the performance of certain system that we use to retrieve information. For example, the most common system that we use or application that we use to retrieve information is Google. Last time we have Yahoo, and we also have Bing. So we are not sure which one retrieve better, meaning that give you more relevant information. But today we will look into how do we evaluate the performance of the system. Okay, so to evaluate an IR system, IR stands for Information Retrieval System, is to measure how well the system meets the information needs of the user. Meaning that if the user query certain information, we want to know how many of those documents relevant to the user. Okay, so this is troublesome. Given the same result set might be interpreted differently by distinct user. So meaning that different user will have different preference or different background knowledge. So for that reason, if we give the same list to 2 different or 3 different users, they will rank them differently based on their knowledge. To deal with this problem, we need to have some kind of metrics or benchmarking in order we can use to measure how well the system retrieve the information for the user. Okay, we need this measurement Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to determine which system is better when we use them. And we also cannot compare the performance of the IR system with the other system. So this retrieval evaluation is very important. Okay. So when we're talking about retrieval evaluation, we always thinking about how relevant is the document written to the user. So given a set of document, let me change this one. Given a set of change color first, of pre-selected document, and also we have a background knowledge, which is we can use this information to tell whether that document is relevant to us or not. Okay? So we have a set of information, need description used for testing. So we have a background knowledge that can tell us which document is relevant with respect to the query that we key into the system. Okay? And together this document and also this background knowledge, we have a set of relevant judgment associated with these two, okay? Which is the IM, which is the information about the idea or the item that we want to find, and this is the document, okay? And this IM belong to the information that we have, and the DJ is belong to D. Okay? So this one we're trying to relate the idea or the information to the document. So based on that, we are saying that 0 if the document is not relevant to the information that we are looking at, and 1 otherwise, meaning that they have some relationship or we can associate them. Okay, so these judgments are produced by human specialists. Human specialists means they have a wide knowledge in that particular area. So that means they have read so many books, they have written so many books. So in that case, they have knowledge in that particular area. Okay, and we also need to have benchmarking or a measurement that we can use in order to tell whether the system is better compared to the other one. So we have this precision and recall. How precise is the system returning relevant document? And then how much the relevant document can be recalled, can be retrieved. Okay? And this single value summary use this benchmarking. We will go over this, some of the example. Are you okay? We have only 52, missing 8 people. Okay, Ellie, Danny, Eliza. Okay, so now we want to define what is precision and recall. So given that we have the information that we are looking at or the information that we request, and we are saying that R is the set of relevant document for the information that we query. So that means we can relate R. Now we can set this relevant document with the information that we requested before. And A refer to the answer set for I generated by the IR. That means this is the document returned to us when we type the information or the query. and this is generated by the IR system. So what we want to know is how many of this A is relevant. So we need to do the intersection. So we have all the relevant document with respect to the information here. And we want to take how many of them are the same with the return answer to us. So this is the intersection of the set R and A. Okay. So when we look at this diagram, the large circle representing the whole document, which is the D. Okay. The whole document. But the only relevant document that we can associate with the I here is this one. Okay. But your information system return this one. So the one that overlapping is the only relevant document that we have. So what we want to have is, we want to have the relevant document like this, and also the return answer something like this. We want to have a larger overlapping between relevant document and the answer set. Okay. So these are the two measures that we will use. The first one is recall. So recall is the fraction of relevant document. So always remember that when we say recall, we are referring to how many of those relevant documents are being retrieved. Okay, so at the bottom here, this is relevant document, and then this is the intersection between relevant and the answer returned to us. Okay? If we have R equal to A, that means we have recall is 1. Okay? If the intersection is small, that means your recall will be lower. If the intersection is full, that means you have recall equal to 1. Okay, so this is with respect to the relevant document. So when we look at the precision, precision referring to the fraction of the retrieved document. So down here we have the answer. So we are looking at, from the answer, how many of the document are relevant to the user. So we are looking at the answer given to us, or the list of document returned to us. And we are looking at how many of them are relevant. Okay, so this is the definition of recall and precision. And how do we apply them to evaluate the IR system? Okay, before that, the definition of precision and recall assume that all documents in the set A have been examined. That means if the given answer is 10, the user has examined all of them. If the return answer is 100, also we assume that user has examined all of them. Okay, so however, the user is not usually presented with all document in the answer set A at once. So we can use precision and recall by looking at where is the position that we are looking at. So we will look at the list later on. So for us to look at the how much better one system is, we can look at the curve of precision versus recall. So we will look into this one later on. How do we plot this curve for each precision and recall that we have? Yeah. Okay. Given that you have a query Q1 here, and you know that if you type query 1, these are all the relevant documents that you can find with respect to the query 1. Okay, so if you type query 1, you have 10 documents which are relevant to your query 1. Okay, and let's suppose based on your query 1, this is the answer given to you. So this is your R and this is your answer. They are listed in rank order. And the dot here referring to these are the relevant documents that are listed here. Okay? Semua boleh follow? Can you type number 8? Oh, 10 orang saja. Yang lain tidur nih kan. Okay, now I will show you how we can find the precision and recall for each of the document that we have. Okay. So now we will examine this one because we are looking at the relevant document. Okay. So at this point, we are saying that the precision is 1/1 because if our window is only this one, we retrieve one and we have one relevant document. So the precision is 100. At the same time also, if we are here, we only retrieve one relevant document. So we have recall equal to 1/10. Okay? So remember that recall referring to how many of those relevant documents that has been retrieved. So in your example here, we have 10 documents which are relevant to query 1. So in that case, if we are here, our recall is 1/10. And our precision is 1/1 because we only have one document here. Okay. Okay, what about this one? What about this one? Okay. What is the recall here? So our window is this one. So what is the precision now? This is our A. Can you type? Yes, definitely 2/3 because we have 3 documents, but 2 are relevant, kan? So this is your P. What is your recall? What is your recall here? We have retrieved 2 documents out of how many? 2/10. Yes. So we have 2/10. Okay. Fazira, okay. Okay. So that is that point. Huh? Okay. Now we go to here. What is the precision here? What is P? So our window here is like this. Dia sambunglah sini. 3/6, because we have 6 documents here, but only 3 are relevant to the query. So what about the recall? (3/10). Okay? So those who cannot figure out yet, try to understand. Those people yang sudah get the knowledge, that's good. Okay, when we are here, what is the position? P. How many documents we have here? 10. And 4 only relevant to your query. What is the recall? (4/10). Definitely so. Okay. So what about this one? What is P? (5/berapa? 15. Yes, Danny. What about the recall? 5/10. Okay. So some of you got the idea already how to compute precision and recall. Okay. But that will be the basic foundation on how do we plot the precision versus recall. Okay, so these are all the examples that we have and so on. Okay, now we want to plot the curve recall versus precision. So the recall here, we refer to 10 every 10, 20, 30, and so on. Okay. So these are the precision that we have. So for example, if we go back to here, okay, the first one here, you see this value we get. So the recall is 10 and the precision is 100. Okay? So the precision is 10. No, the recall is 10 and precision is 100. Basically, you start with this one. So, and this one you do not have value, but you will carry this 100 out. Okay. And the next one is which one? The next one is this D9. Oh, is D56. D56. Our precision is 66.6 and our recall is 20. So we take this value for this one. So we plot them here. So we have 20 and 66. Okay. So from 100 here, so we go down here, which is 66 lah here. Okay. Okay, the next one is this one. So our precision is 50%, our recall is 30%. So this is what we have counted just now. So we just apply this one. So recall 30%, precision is 50. 30%, 50. Okay. And then we have 40%, 40% also. So 40%, 40%. Okay, and then 50%, 33%. So we have that one. Okay. So since our list is only up to here, so that means we only have five values here. Okay, so the rest will be 0. So when we plot this one, so we have this. Okay, so the idea is an information system will be a better one if area under the curve is maximized. Yeah. So what we want to have is we want to have something like this. Okay. Let's take a look at another one. Okay. So this is query number 2, but we only have three documents here. So for this one, what is P? What is P here? And one more thing is that in the exam, you need to think fast. So you need to train your brain think faster. So this is 1/3, and your recall will be 1/10. No, we only have 3, Daphne. So that means 1/3. Okay. So for the recall, we look at the relevant document. And then for the precision, we look at how many that we have retrieved. Okay. And for this one, what is the precision? Supposed to be 2/8. What is recall? Recall 2/3. Very good. And this one, this is 3/, for precision, 3/15. Our recall will be 3/3. Okay, so we have this percentage because we are plotting based on the recall. So this is 33%, and this is 66%, and this one is 1. Okay, so how do we plot this one? Recall, right? This one is, okay, how do we plot this one? Let me get it. Okay, so where is our table? So we look at this one. So the precision is 1/3, and our recall is 1/3, right? So in our table here, this is your recall, this is your precision. So we have 0, 10, 20, 30. So the value of recall is 1/3, which is 33%. Let me show. I think I have example. Yeah, this is the example here. Since the value here is 33.3, kan? So we only take up to here. So we put 33.3. Yeah. And also we have the next one here. This is, the recall is 2/3 and the precision is 40%. 2 out of 8. Yep. Betul lah. 2 out of 8. No, 25. 1/4. Okay. So since this is 66.6, when we go to this one, when we have the 60, so 60, 70, 80, and so on. So since the recall here is 66.6, so we check this one here will be 25%. Okay? And this one, the recall is 100 and the precision is 3/5. No, 3/15. So which is 1/5, which is 20%. So this is 20 here. Okay. So how do we fill up all these things? Yang empty nih. Okay. So since this is empty, so we will follow this. So we will copy them here. So all this will be 33. 33, 33, and all the empty here will be 25 because follow this. Okay? And all this will be 20 following this. Okay, so that's how you get this. That's how you get. This is the value that initially that we have, 25 and 60, and then 20. Okay, and this is the graph that we have. So if we compare this and this one, the area under the curve is smaller compared to this. So we are saying that the system is better when we use query number 2. Okay? So the skill that you need to learn in the second example is that because we will not always have a perfect number for your recall. So you need to take the number bulat lah. So 33 recall, we only take recall 30 and then we place the value here. And then the next one is 66, we take only 60 and we place the value here. And then the next one is 100, we take the value here. So all the empty value we will copy from the last one that we have here. So this is what you need to do in the exam when you have empty value for the precision at certain recall. Okay. So for us to evaluate the system, because if you look at the query one here, So query 1 will give you this. Query 1 will give you this. And query 2 will give you this. So if we have 10 query, so that means we need to take the average of all the 10 in order to evaluate the performance of the system that we have. If we only have one query, which is this one, then we use this one. If we have two query, first one and this one, we need to take the average. Okay, so how do we take the average? So we just sum up all the precision for each of the recall that we have, and then we divide by number of query. Okay, for example, like this, we have this is query 1, this is query 2, and this is the average. So what we need to do is we take this 100 plus this divide by 2, then we get 66. So all these are the average of these two. Okay, so this is the average of the precision versus recall for all the query that we key in using the IR that we want to evaluate. Okay, so let's suppose we want to perform a comparison between two IR. So this is the first one, this is the second one. Okay, so which one is better? So in that case, we need to compute area under the curve. So which one cover more area? Okay, I will go over how do we compute the area under the curve. Okay, this is last year punya soalan, but you will get the new one. Okay. Okay. Semua okay ni? Precision and recall. Okay, Fazira, Daphne, siapa lagi? Eliza, So, Q, Nurul, Crystal, Very Crystala, Muhammad, Cynthia, Nur Ashidatul, Eli, Christopher. Okay, now we look at a single value summary. A single value summary is similar to what we have done before, tapi we only check at one point lah. Dia macam checkpoint lah. Okay, so for example, normally kalau kita want to plot the precision and recall, we need to compute all of them. Okay, but a single value summary ini they only check at one particular point, like what we did for the individual relevant document that we have. Okay, so a single precision value can be used in order to evaluate the performance of the system. So contohnya we are saying at document number 5 or document number 10. So we specify the position of the document and we take the precision and recall and we just compare. Okay, so this is how we say we want to find the precision at 5 ataupun we want to find the precision at 10. So this one refer to at position 5 or at position 10. Okay, so for example like this, at position 5, this is position 5. So what is the precision that we have here? What is the recall and precision? So we have 5 documents. Okay, 5 documents, and we only have 2 relevant. And the recall will be this one coming from the first query just now. So 2 over the recall is 2 over 10. Okay. We are looking at P, so the precision is 40%. And if we say what is the precision at 10, so this is 4 over 10, 40%. Okay, so this is the single value is very straightforward. We are looking at the precision at certain position of the document only. Okay. Okay. Now this is the one that we talked just now. How do we compute area under the curve? Okay. So what we want to do is we want to find the mean average precision. Okay. So this one referring to how many query you have, and then I will sum up all the precision that you have for that particular document. Okay. And this one is referring to number of relevant query. Okay, so we want to take the average. Okay, that means we only want to have this. So we have what? We don't include this one. Okay, so we have 1, and we have 0.66, and we have 0.5, and we have 0.4, and then we have 0.33, and then the rest is 0. And this 10 refer to relevant document, okay, which is this one. Q, J, number of relevant document for query J. Okay. So this is the area under the curve, 0.28. Let's take a look at another example. Okay. Okay, we have relevant document for query 1, 5 document. So we compute the recall here. So each one of them we have recall and precision. Recall here is 1 over 5. Recall here is 2 over 5. This is 3 over 5, 4 over 5, 5 over 5. Precision is when we are here. So that means we have 3 over 6. When we are here, we have 4 over 9. Okay. Okay, this you should be able to compute. Okay, if we have 3, okay, for query number 2, we only have 3. So we will have different recall and precision. So these are the number. Okay. So what is map 1 here? What is the area under the curve for this one? So what we need to do is we only take this. You don't need to take yang lain. Okay. So we take the precision for this and this and this, and this. And we divide by 5. Why 5? Because we only have 5 documents. Okay? And the same thing goes to here. We only take the position here, here, and here. So we have 0.4, 5, 0.4, 0.43 divided by 3 because we have 3 documents here. Not because we have 3 here. Because sometimes we have less than 3 or less than 5 here. Okay? So this is for query 1, query 2, but if we combine these two, what will be the answer? How do we combine these two? Okay, so basically we just take this plus this divide by 2. Okay, which represent this formula that you have just now. We divide number so this one is the first one that you have. So basically we sum up the two that we have here, and divide by 2. Okay. So on average, for this system, area under the curve will be 0.53. So if the value is higher, the better is the system. Okay. Last one. Okay. Since we have precision and recall, it is very difficult for us to use two number because sometimes recall very low and precision very high and the other way around. So they introduce one formula that combine these two. Okay. They say this is the R precision. So the R precision for algorithm A for the I query. So this is the short notation. This is the R precision for algorithm A for the I query, and this is for algorithm B. So how do we compare? We just subtract the difference between these two. Okay. So for example, like this, the R precision for A and B, after you minus, so we will get all positive here. That means your algorithm A is better than B. Because most of them are going here. Because the formula is we are subtracting subtracting B from A. So if the value is positive, that means A is more higher compared to B. If the value is negative, B is higher than A. But in most cases, A is higher than B. Okay. Okay. This is the formula that combine the recall and precision. So this is the recall, and this is the precision. At position J document. Okay. So based on this F measure, we combine the recall and precision. The value is 1 if your recall is 1 and your precision is 1. Okay, if this is 1 and this is also 1, so 1 plus 1 will be 2, 2 over 2 will be 1. Okay, so we want to maximize the F measure. Okay, So the value for the F measure is assumed to be between 0 to 1. So 1 is the maximum one. It is 0 when no relevant document has been retrieved. But if you retrieve all of them, then it will become 1. Okay. So this is your assignment, but will be different. So you have to look at the smart version drill. Okay. So I hope you can understand a bit about the lecture 5. So how's everyone? If you're okay, can you tap number 9? Ya Nurul, semakin sehat sudah. Syukurlah. Keluar sudah dari hospital, macam mau gila sudah di hospital. 14 hari saya di hospital. Stop dulu.